assault. And for no road to be taken at all, man, it's just, like I say, the people's concern is legitimate, man.
Willie D. Live.
This is what I don't understand. So you got a range of punishment from 5 to 99 years, right?
Right.
That was his range of punishment, 5 to 99.
Right.
And so I was always under the impression that the low end was for those people in society who may be more redeemable, who had, who probably made a huge mistake, but it wasn't malicious. It wasn't a calculated malicious event. And so if you look at Karmelo Anthony's, first of all, if you look at what happened, he didn't instigate the incident. He didn't initiate anything. He was sitting down minding his own business and he was accosted by a bully. Now, okay, so he stabs the guy. You can believe whatever you want to believe about how he to stab him.
Right.
He stabs him and the guy dies.
Right.
It was not premeditated. It was not planned. It's something that happened. You have people who commit crimes of passion, kill their spouse after catching them with somebody else, catching them cheating, and get 10 years in prison. And I'm talking about grown people who are in their 30s and 40s, whose minds are as matured as they should be by that time, and they get 10 years, but you give this child 35 years who otherwise is an exemplary citizen. He doesn't get it. He is a model kid at home. He's an honor roll student. He's not a troublemaker. People like him. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, the bonus is that he actually saved somebody's life before. If he don't qualify for the low end, if he don't qualify, I think he's 100% innocent, but let's just say he's guilty and let's give him that. He's guilty. If he don't qualify for the 5 years, who in the hell does?
Exactly. Look, I mean, that's one of the things that they may have a play on ineffective assistance of counsel. What did you say? Most of the time, the lower numbers for the people who are redeemable, right? Who are exemplary citizens, right? That's what mitigating evidence does in the punishment phase. All he had to do, look, I reached out to the mom of the person whose life Karmelo saved. I reached out to the mom and I had one question. I just had one question. I wanted to know, was she subpoenaed? She said no. I would have been there.
Wow.
I mean, she said no. I would have been there. You got to understand, to not even have her on ice, you're supposed to have her in the waiting room or sitting down by the vending machines with a Coke and some chips, waiting on you to send her the text. You see what I'm saying? You're supposed to have her in the building. You got to understand, that's why not calling him is so futile and it's so egregious. You didn't call him in the guilt and innocence phase. Okay, I don't understand that either. But that's the guilt and innocence phase. Once the verdict came down, now all you guys are focused on is getting him the least amount of time possible. Willie, I promise you, anywhere between 10 to 15 times during that trial, the prosecutor said the words indifferent to human life, doesn't care about life. The entire time they were saying statements to make him seem like he is a person that has no regard for human life. Okay, it ain't nothing that rebuts that more than putting him up there for him to say, I actually saved a life. I mean, I actually risked my life to save a life. You see what I'm saying? They could have had something for them to look at. They could have had the newspaper article, entered that into evidence, or had the judge take judicial notice of it, publish it to the jury. And while I got Karmelo on the stand telling them about the decision he made to make sure somebody else continue to breathe, I got the jury looking at the evidence, looking at the paper, passing it to the next jury, looking at the paper, reading the article. You see, so they can see that this man, quite frankly, he does have a regard for human life, and he doesn't have a reckless disregard for human. I mean, so to not even put your bid in on that, to not even call. I mean, it's one thing not to call her, to not even subpoena her says she wasn't part of your preparation. It says she just wasn't on the list. I mean, it might be 50 different witnesses, and I put a dash and I put their role in the case. You see what I'm saying? And if he knew that was her role, that she felt good enough to not only go on social media, but to get in a newspaper article and give him praise for saving her son's life, she wouldn't have no problem doing that on the stand. He called Karmelo's mom. Okay, that ain't no fault to Karmelo's mom. I'm sure she did the best she could up there, but not letting him explain. And another thing, you said that it was heat of passion or whatever. Okay, people don't know. Once a guilty verdict for a murder comes out, you get a second bite at the apple to get sudden passion, right? So he could have put Karmelo up there. They could have did away with the self-defense stuff. No more talking about self-defense. But he could have put him up there in the punishment phase and had him say that he did that because he was so angry that, the Metcalf boy tried to punk him, or that the guy, something. He could have got up there and explained to them why it wasn't premeditated and it was just something he did that was based on heat of passion. They didn't even do that. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know, man. I'm with you. Somebody diving in a pool to save somebody else, man, that's a certain type of person. You see what I'm saying? And the jury deserved to know that. And Karmelo deserved better than that. He deserved for the jury to know that not, I ain't saying it equals out, but it certainly takes away from the prosecution's claim that I don't care about life. Which could have took that 35 down to 15, or could have took the 35 down to 5, So, and honestly, another thing about sudden passion, if the jury feels that it was sudden passion, it takes you back to 2. I think it takes you back to 2 to 10. I think it takes you back to 2 to 10. And they wouldn't have been able to give him more than 10. I'm almost positive it does, but it's just the point I'm making to you. It's just too many different roads to get them the result that they saw. And for no road to be taken at all, man, it's just, like I say, the people's concern is legitimate, man. It's legitimate,
So I've been hearing a lot of chatter in the background where people are saying things like his parents, Karmelo's parents, did not sit in on the hearing of the sentencing phase. When they actually sentenced him, when the judge gave him his time, his parents were not there. Can you explain to the slowpokes out there why a loving mother and father may not sit in on listening to a judge give their child who was found guilty time?
It's probably broken, man. I mean, it's a mom. It's a mom losing a son. I've had plenty of moms that, after we get the verdict, the not guilty verdict on the murder, right? Well, once we get and say there's a guilty verdict on the manslaughter, the lesser included. Well, mama probably sitting in the hall for that. She's relieved. She's relieved that you didn't get convicted of murder, but it's just too much for him sometimes, man. I mean, those are his parents, man. I've had conversations with the father. I haven't had a conversation with the mom. I assumed it was because she was a little more hands off because she was, going through emotions and dealing with how this is emotionally affecting her. But that ain't nothing. Like, these are things that are talked about months before, man. When I do a case, I tell people I don't make it to the punishment phase often. I don't. I'm not bragging about that. I'm bragging in the Lord. Good Lord done bless me to have the skills to pay the bills. And most of the time, we get a not guilty. Hence, not guilty boys. You understand what I'm saying? But in the event that they do come back guilty, we're going to have to go through a punishment phase. And I say, give me a list of people that can say something good about you. Give me a pastor that can say something good about you. Pick your favorite teacher of all time and give me her information. And we prepare for that. You see what I'm saying? So my point to you is, I'm sure the attorney was probably aware that mom ain't want to sit in there and listen to that. I mean, she's probably outside trying to keep it together, man. And my heart goes out to that family, man. I mean, I can't imagine what losing a child is like, So, I mean, that didn't play that much into anything for me. I tell the mama, I say, mama, do whatever makes you comfortable. I'm going to go here and handle business. I'll come out here and tell you what the verdict was, So, I think we got to be sensitive to that, man. But, I can't imagine how hard it is having to emotionally keep it together and still get this work done. Because you got to understand, an appeal, I mean, it ain't forever. They only got a certain amount of time to hire an attorney, get the investigation done. And so I'm sure they juggling a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? But, know what they're thinking. I'm sure it's traumatic, though.
As a trial attorney, how hard is it for you to emotionally keep it together and still get the work done? Because, you're often not like you have to deal with families' grief, and when they call you, oftentimes you're dealing with people when they're going through one of the roughest patches of their life. You being a passionate guy who does the work that you do with your partner, how much does these type of cases take out of you?
Man, I got to be humble in the Lord and say it don't take much out of me at all, man. And I'm laughing because I've been asked that before and people don't believe it. But I haven't worked since May 16th, 2014, man. This is what I was put on this world to do. I was put here to be a conduit of the Lord's grace and mercy, man. Everybody got a job to do. I mean, the good books say that, Christ is the head of all government. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, I think he cool with what I do. I mean, he the head of government. Everybody got a job to do. I mean, if you're a prosecutor and you are just as passionate about putting people in jail as I am about keeping people out of jail, I ain't mad at you because I can relate to your passion. Now I'm going to beat you. I need to beat you. I'm going to put pressure on myself to beat you because I don't want you to win. I don't want you to gain your objection and put another black man in jail. You understand what I'm saying? So it don't take nothing out of me, man, because I'm very passionate about it. And the way I got into this because I got in a lot of trouble growing up and I didn't have a lawyer for me. So I'm very knee deep in my purpose, man. So, I think it just comes with the game. If you got to explain to mama what happens to a baby if this goes wrong, then that's my responsibility. But I don't think that I try not to pay any attention to the emotional side. The DA is going to do that enough. I got to make sure that I'm sharp. I got to make sure that I'm thinking on my feet, and I got to make sure that I know what the DA's next move is. So it ain't really much time to be sad and going through it. Now, I have been in some trials where the pictures, maybe a baby passed or something, and the pictures kind of mess you up, and if you got kids, but anything other than that, man, I mean, I'm sure other attorneys do, but me and Mike, man, this kind of what we was put here to do, man. So you can have a lot of confidence when you know you got the Lord behind you.
Willie D Live.
What's up, family? On yesterday, I was watching Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. He brought up the idea of Karmelo Anthony receiving a new trial, his conviction being overturned because there were not one black juror serving jury duty. Not one in a racially charged case where you have a black defendant on trial for murdering a white person. Now, why is it so important to have a black juror? Well, black juror gonna give a black person the benefit of doubt, if nothing else. Now, there are many people out there who believe that Karmelo Anthony's conviction will be overturned. A lot of y'all try to make us feel guilty for supporting Karmelo Anthony. Y'all try to gaslight us. All of a sudden, y'all really care about human life. But when you're taking life, when it's somebody that you support, you ain't got no problem. Anybody heard of Kyle Rittenhouse? Anybody heard of George Zimmerman? Reginald Penny? I mean, y'all were heartless. Y'all didn't have no regard for the victim. And all of a sudden, we're raising valid points. And now y'all got a problem. Suck it up, buttercup. Moving on. This guy right here. This is Judge Roach. That means he's a roach. This is the roach that put Karmelo away for 35 years. Now, one of the reasons why, the primary reason why this case is going to be overturned, this conviction is going to be overturned, is because Karmelo Anthony's defense attorneys raised the Batson challenge that pointed out that the prosecution used its final strikes to remove the only 3 available black prospective jurors. Prosecutors successfully argued a race-neutral reason because the fatal stabbing occurred at Frisco ISD High School track meet involving young students. The state stated it wanted to exclude educators to prevent potential bias related to school policy perspectives. Roach reviewed the jury's questionnaires and the state's explanations. He determined that the prosecution provided valid race-neutral reasons for the strikes and overruled the defense's challenge, allowing the jury's selection to stand. Now check this out, family. I'm sure you've heard about the 3 black prospective jurors who were denied an opportunity to serve because they were educators. One white prospective juror who was allowed to serve on the jury who is also an educator. That's how bold they are. Yeah. Roach should be disbarred. He shouldn't be allowed to just retire. It should go on the record that he was disbarred. See, Roach thought everything was going to be cool. He thought it was going to be business as usual. I mean, they run it. They got everything on lock. They run the DA's office, they run the courts, and they pretty much got a good old boy system where they do whatever the hell they want to do. But they overplayed their hands this time because this turns out to be an international case of interest. And a lot of people got eyes on this. And so when that happens, these little small towns can't get away with this wild, wild west form of law that they tend to practice, right? When you're in these little small towns, it's easy to cover up. It's easy to circumvent the law. It's easy to do whatever you want to do. Hell, oftentimes you have people who are in important positions that have multiple important positions. For example, you might have a sheriff who's also the school superintendent. Yeah, you could have somebody who is a lawyer who's also working in the clerk's office. They work in the county clerk's office. Yeah, this happens all the time. You got mama working as a judge, and daddy is the chief of police. You got Junior is the first deputy. You got the cousin is the second deputy. You understand what I'm saying, fam? These people in these little small towns, they're closely connected. And it's a good old boy system. And oftentimes people move to these small towns so that they don't have to adhere to societal progression. They can be stuck in time. A lot of them like that idea of being able to do whatever they want, especially to Black folks. See, that's really what it's about more than anything. Having some type of stewardship,
Willie D,
some type of dominion over Blacks. Yeah, I know you. I know you. It ain't all about fresh air all the time. Some people want to move to the country because it's slow and you get the fresh air. You know, you got some people that like farming and all that kind of stuff. And salute to y'all. But the rest of y'all, I know you. I know you for real. Been around you. That's how I know you so well. Yeah. Yeah. So Karmelo Anthony is absolutely going to get a new trial. His conviction will be overturned. Absolutely. They railroaded this boy. They absolutely railroaded him. And that ain't cool, man. That ain't cool. They might have gotten away with it if they had sentenced him on the low end. If they would have gave him 5 years, something like that, I think that would still be an uproar because there are many people who believe he's innocent. Many people believe he was picked on, he was bullied, and he defended himself against a bully. Now, typically, we don't have no problem with people defending themselves against bullies, right? It is absolutely amazing to me how so many of us pick and choose. We have this selective outrage in regards to keeping your hands to yourself. Yeah, like we don't care who it is. Well, keep your hands to yourself. You know, equal lefts for equal rights. You know, I've heard that. Haven't you heard that? Yeah, even Hunter Metcalf was allegedly quoted saying during an outing with some cheerleaders and some members of the football team, this one cheerleader said they were at Canes, and Hunter stood up and called one of her friends a fat B, and she couldn't understand it. She said they were just talking about the game and all that stuff, and he just stood up and called her fat B, and everybody started laughing. And then one of the guys went on to say that Hunter said his hands are bisexual. He hit boys and girls. Yeah. So it's amazing how we understand that when we want to, and when the narrative fits what we support, right, or who we support. Keep your hands to yourself. If Hunter and his brother, Austin, had never accosted Karmelo Anthony, if they had never put their hands on Karmelo Anthony, none of this would have happened. And the trip part about it is, y'all understand that when you want to, because you say it all the time. You say it all the time. You understand it. But the only reason why you don't understand it this time because you got a white victim and a Black defendant. That is the only reason why you don't understand it. And we don't have to make it about race. It is about race. So don't try to gaslight us when we start talking about it's about race. Y'all got that bad. Like, you go out there and do something racial or something happens racially and you want us to be quiet so you can be comfortable. You don't want us to talk about it. You want us to just suffer in silence, just keep it to ourselves. Hey, you know, see, that come from that whole slave owner mentality. Like, a lot of y'all think that Black people should just be happy that we're freed. And that means since we're free, we should be so grateful to y'all that we need to just shut up and take whatever scraps that are available for us, whether those scraps are socially, economically, or judicially related. Yeah, I know you. I know you well. I know you well. Karmelo Anthony will receive a new trial. Like it or not, that conviction will be overturned, and I'll be right here to report it.
Willie D is so funny.
Willie D Live.
What's up, family? I want to take you back to the day that the verdict came in on the Karmelo Anthony case and show you the difference between race. I want to show you the difference between media coverage and how to spot biased media. Yeah, fam. Check this out. I'm gonna break it down as we go.
Murder! Guilty of murder! The verdict is in, guilty of murder!
Y'all know y'all wrong! I swear to God, don't see. I'm tired of this.
Outside of the Collin County Courthouse, the parking lot became a front row seat to criminal justice.
Well, I've been watching it. Me and my boyfriend have been watching all the trial stuff. Did not see very many, if any, supporters for the House family.
So what CBS is doing right here is they're showing Black people outraged to anger, and they're showing white people mostly calm. And they're also being biased towards Austin Metcalf. If you notice how they're portraying the people that are there, the spectators who are outside of the Collin County Courthouse, these are the people that were available immediately after the verdict came in. Just watch the texture of the coverage, and you'll see the bias. It's glaring.
Arnold and her boyfriend Eddie, who does not want to give us his last name, drove in for verdict day in the murder trial of Karmelo Anthony, April 2025. Frisco track incident that became a murder. Karmelo Anthony is now convicted in the case and is on his way to prison.
Yeah, it's murder. I think just it being as unfortunate as it was, something that probably should have never happened. I mean, I think we can say there was probably mistakes made both ways.
You funny.
Boom.
The difference between being convicted for murder and manslaughter.
He said,
he certainly
I think
killed
there were mistakes made on both sides. Let's run that beautiful beat footage back again.
Probably should have never happened. I mean, I think we can say there was probably mistakes made both ways.
Now,
there were
that
definitely
guy is a Karmelo Anthony, I should say, detractor for Austin. He is an Austin Metcalf supporter. And even he said, I think mistakes were made on both sides or both ways. Now, if mistakes were made, if you believe that mistakes were made, he's one of the very few, by the way, who supports Austin Metcalf, who says he actually made a mistake. See, they know he made a mistake because it cost him his life, but they won't say it. Because when they're supporting something, they got to be absolute with their support, and they can't say anything different because they know that if you hear them say something different, that you're going to pounce on it, you're going to pick it up. Say,
for sure.
Aha. See, instead of just saying, you know what, man, I mean, if this is my point. If this is your belief, fine. If you are going to stand on it, though. But also, address the elephant in the room. Call a strike a strike.
You got to let them do what they're going to do.
Because we already know what you're thinking, and we know that you know what the truth is. So you would actually be more credible if you recognize let them do what they're going to do, sides. If you would recognize and say, you know what, there were mistakes made on both sides, but I just still don't think that constitutes taking somebody's life. See, I can respect that if that's your belief. I don't agree with it, but I can respect it if you call the strike a strike and a ball a ball. But a lot of y'all don't want to put no blame, no responsibility whatsoever on Austin Metcalf, which means that if you don't think Austin Metcalf did anything wrong, you're cool with people walking up to folks they think they're not supposed to be in. You're cool with people putting their hands on people. That's what you're saying. If you don't think he made any mistakes,
fucked up right there.
You're saying that you are.
They think it's cool. White people think it's cool for people to go up and tell other people to move from a space they're not supposed to be at. I think he messed up. He put his foot in his mouth there, but we'll continue.
Cool with people putting their hands on people. And I know you're not. You're only cool with people putting their hands on people that you don't like. I know you. I studied you. I know you. I know that's the only reason why you're not calling out.
I know some. No. I know some black people. Hold on. Like that goes both ways. That for sure goes both ways. That's some bullshit. He's
any
lying.
mistakes. Keep it a buck, man. There were mistakes made on both sides. See, I can agree to that. I can see that. Yeah, that was mistakes made on both sides. And if you, in retrospect, if you look back, there were mistakes made on both sides. You can say that you pushed him, and then you can say, okay, well, you can say Karmelo took it too far.
Yeah, shout out to Willie D.
One
though.
might say he took it too far. But at the same time, one might say,
Shout
well,
out
I
to
can
Willie D.
understand why he took it too far. It was the heat of passion. It was in the moment. He got this 200-pound dude plus dude coming after him, and he reacted. He panicked. He trying to get him off him. Many people don't believe Karmelo Anthony did anything wrong at all.
That's crazy.
And I can understand that side. Because if somebody comes for me, I'm minding my own business. I ain't messing with nobody. Man, do you know how furious I would be if somebody come messing with me, man, and you put your hands on me? I ain't did nothing to nobody. I ain't messed with nobody. I didn't do anything to provoke you. All I did was exist. And you, playing the Billy Badass, you want to make me bend to your will.
Right.
You put your hands on me,
right.
I'm telling you, I will use anything at my disposal to stop the threat. And I mean anything.
Anything? That's too I'm sorry. That's just too extreme. That's just too extreme. And that's exactly why he's in the situation that he's in now. I'm just not with that. Nah, bro. It's 2 kids. If y'all can't fight, if you not gonna fight them, just leave. That's what I say. If you not gonna fight, if somebody approaches you and you do not want to engage with them and they're antagonizing you, if you're not going to challenge them verbally or physically, get up and walk away. If that's the case, as kid, and I'm saying as children, like everything else aside, like they're 2 kids at a fucking track meet. Like, come on, man. Shit. Go get a fucking teacher or something. I don't know. I don't even know if teachers were even there at that point. But bro, come on, man. No, just for touching somebody is crazy. I'm not gonna pull out a knife. Like a knife is crazy. You know what I'm saying? A knife is crazy. Just for touching you though, like, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna do it. Him saying that he's going to use every tool at his disposal to dispatch the threat. And it's like, we haven't categorized the severity of the threat in order for you to validate your use of nearly lethal or, force that could do great bodily harm. Like, if you can't if you can't validate the amount of force needed to off a person in a situation like that, you're gonna end up like where he is, where Karmelo Anthony is right now. Like, come on, bro. Like, what you say, Scott? See, if he is so afraid, then why did he only run after stabbing someone to death? True. Who's to say? You know what I'm saying? My problem is that he didn't, for whatever reason, and I don't know why that is. I simply think that I was waiting for him to make a statement, and for whatever reason, they decided that that was like a no-go. So, we will never know. We will never know, unfortunately. Or maybe we will. I don't know. That all depends on how they handle the appeal, I guess. But, we'll continue.
Contact with you.
We'll push forward here.
That is a guarantee. I'm not taking no losses.
You not taking no losses?
If I put myself in a situation.
Well, okay. Wait. Let me. He's thinking, okay. This is different. A little bit. He is speaking as an older gentleman in this regard, and I'm gonna have to give it, and I don't think that he didn't specify that, but I can clearly tell that he's not thinking about if he was a child in that situation. If you're a child in that situation, like if you guys are 17, if you're a kid in high school, there's no reason for you to rationally think like, I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to dispatch and kid, it's not that serious. It's just not. It's not that serious. That's fucking crazy. Like, that's why.
That's different. That's why, like, if you look back,
that's
even
why
in childhood,
there's no reason for 2 kids. There's just no reason for 2 kids to be like, or one guy, like, there's no reason for you to go somewhere into some space mentally as a child to be like, I gotta kill this. I'm gonna pull this blade out, or I'm gonna pull this, whatever it is, brass knuckles, gun, whatever, and I'm finna do this, significant bodily harm to this person because, they antagonizing me or they making me mad. Like that's not where we want to go socially. We don't want to be there. Is innocent kind of spot? What does innocent mean? What does that mean to you? I mean, if he ended up killing the kid, then clearly he's not innocent. That doesn't make any. Actually died. So there you go. I mean, he killed another kid. So I don't know what you mean by that. I mean, if you're asking me if I'm more neutral to the position because I've been in situations similar to that, and I walked out with my life with very little harm or no harm at all in some cases. And then sometimes you just gonna have to fight it out, bro. Like if somebody is trying to move you off your square, you might have to fight it out. Using a knife, I think that's crazy. As a kid, like I've had, and I just want to say this, in the place that I grew up in, the schools that I went to, people were carrying multi-tool like knives, or they were carrying little, what would you call it, hunting knives and stuff like that, because they went hunting with their parents, or what I'm saying, they were just outdoorsmen, and we had a lot of white guys that would do that. And we also had a couple of people who, what are those things called? Swiss Army knives, I think. I had a couple of those too, and I would carry those, but I used them for a multitude of purposes. But I'm just going to say this, never in my mind where I was in a situation where I was around a group of people because that's happened to me before. Like I show up to a place, people didn't want me there. The second that I know that a bunch of, it's not just him, like if everybody else is complicit in the area, when they hear the two of us go back and forth about whether or not I have the right to be in a certain place, if everybody else is neutral, especially if there's a party of people that I know me, if they're quiet, the first thing I'm going to do is look over at them to do the eye check to make sure that they know it could go down so that they can step in. And if they don't step in on my behalf, I know that the whole thing is a work. It's a setup. So I'm going to get up. I'm going to go flip the dude the bird. And I'll be like, I'm going to get up with you on a later date. And then I'm going to exit. That's how I'm going to move. And I'm going to really get up with him. But all the crazy people trying to defend Karmelo, acting like his sentence was unjustified. His sentence isn't. So here's the thing, right? As far as I can tell, people's real gripe is the fact that, well, okay, here are a couple of things. One is there's a lot of misinformation about the prospective jurors. That's one. Like, there's a lot of things that we simply don't know because it's not really open to the public to know at a certain level for us to be able to verify whether or not things code. And in a situation like this, all of the potential evidence, or I'm not even going to say evidence because I just looked at something else, but all of the potential misgivings, and I'm putting that in air quotes, from the judicial system in this particular scenario, it's all optical. Like they're saying that, oh, these jurors there were several black jurors that didn't get chosen because they were this and they were this and they were this. And it was like, let's keep it real. In reality, a lot of people in general, and this is all encompassing. So this is also including black folks, white folks, black folks, whatever. When people get called, I just got called to jury duty in May, and I didn't want to be there. And there was a multitude of people that didn't want to be there. I ended up getting chosen for jury duty. I participated, and within, I'm going to say 24 hours, we reached a verdict. It was pretty quick. It was expedient. And closer towards the end of my service, when we were about to hand over our verdict to the judge so that he could read it off, one thing that people have to understand is that the jury chooses. It's not the judge. It's not this. It's not. All of the evidence means nothing. It's really all based on how people feel. Like, if I get in there, right? If I get in there and I don't particularly have a bias towards anything, but I want to get it done, I just kind of want to get things over with, that could lend itself to being more skewed. Like, potentially people, like anybody who's going to get called for the service jury duty doesn't want to be there. And I think, this is an unfortunate thing that I think a lot of people don't really realize, is that in that sense, even if people are doing their best to try and be amicable towards Karmelo Anthony's situation in his case of defense, it's not going to look, they're just going to be like, well, I really don't want to deal with this for a prolonged period of time. And that's going to have a pretty significant impact, especially since when I was there, and I'm not going to tell you what case I was on, but when I did it, I was like, ooh, damn, like we could have just fucked somebody over. Like, cause a lot of the people when we came up with, there was other substantial evidence in favor of the plaintiff. And nobody wanted to look at it because everybody was ready to go. And it's just like there's a lot of skews that are kind of sort of hidden in there that people just don't really realize because they've never really been through that sort of process. A lot of people have actually never been through that process before. Chuck Norris was a loss. Karmelo must have thought he was Chuck Norris with the shut the fuck. Get the fuck out. Yeah, 600,000, and they okay. So as far as I'm concerned, I thought that it wasn't that they used he used to be a public defender, and now he has his own private practice. As far as I could tell, he murdered the boy. We as black folk need to start using common sense. God gave absolutely, yeah. However it happened, look. I heard some people saying some shit like, oh, his brother was behind him and then he pushed him. And it's like, it doesn't, what matters is this. The weapon, the murder weapon that was used to penetrate Austin Metcalf's chest, killing him, was owned by Karmelo Anthony. There are no cameras. And we can only assume that everybody who was there were friends with Austin Metcalf. Why? And I guess this happened pretty fast, but we have to use our discernment and make sure that we're never in I never put myself in a situation where I could lose big. Because I know this, if I'm defending myself, right? This is what I thought about. This happened to me a while ago. If I pull out the knife, the chance for me to do bodily harm, significant bodily harm, irreversible bodily harm, or cause death has skyrocketed. That's not a risk I'm willing to take. That's something that races through my mind the second that I think about going for the knife. And I've never put myself in a situation where I could get caught up. And I'm just a guy, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Did he have the right to defend himself? Yeah, with a knife? Fuck no. No, you didn't. Not with a knife. I mean, maybe some fucking pepper spray or something. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But a knife? No. No. Were they jumping? Well, here's the thing. Where is the and I'm not saying that he wasn't getting jumped. I'm not saying he was. I don't know enough about that. People are saying they saw a video. The video I saw online, I couldn't see shit. What? And I'm going to ask you this. What video did you see? Who was wait, who was that in the chat that said that? Who said he was getting jumped? Savage. What video did you see? Because you have to show me, right? I'm not going to say anything until I see evidence of them directly jumping him. Some people are saying there was a clearer video. Some people are saying that, oh, somebody had to be recording at the time. Somebody was recording at the time. Some people are saying that the people that saw the video have like a Facebook group and did this. But when I look up the group or the 17 people in the group don't exist. Nobody, no, like, who are the people? Like, I'm trying to figure, like, drop. And I mean, for real, this is not me being facetious. Actually drop me some information. I don't know if you can actually post a link or anything, but if actually, I might need to go in the chat and make sure that you could, but you're going to have to actually show me. You said you saw 3 people standing after he ran up. 3 people standing. Yeah. He was not jumped. Edited fatigue. Funny. Let's see. Karmelo has never claimed to be jumped. Yeah, and that's another thing, right? He didn't say himself when he came down with his initial contact with the officer. He said, "I told him not to put his hands on me." He said, "I told him." He didn't say he got hit. He said he didn't say they jumped me. He said I was getting attacked everywhere. He didn't say I got pushed twice. He didn't say this. He didn't say that. He said I told him not to put his hands on me. Same as with the cop videos prior to the body cams. Yes. He said he, and he specifically, that's what he said. He said I told him not to put his hands on me. And jumped wasn't his defense. That's right. So I'm trying to figure out where everybody's getting this. Look, I'm gonna tell you, the last thing that you want to do in a situation like this between 2 children is go ahead and interject your racial bias towards black people or white people or whatever the fuck the case may be, because this is just a situation of ego. 2 guys got into it because at least one dude, because Austin Metcalf approached him because he didn't like him. He didn't want him to be there. Whether he was talking shit about his team, or he didn't like his face, or he didn't like his hair that day, or he ain't like him. That's it. It's done with now. You didn't like him, and he approached him, and then he ended up getting stabbed. Karmelo Anthony ended up stabbing him somehow, and then he ran down the track. Like, we got to get real. I mean, that's it. Did he? Funny. People who don't know him or any facts of the case have created, their own stories about, you guys have fabricated your own, like, narrative about this. I don't really understand. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? What does that do for you? Yeah, what is that? What the fuck does that actually do for you? What are you getting out of that? Are you gonna wake up tomorrow? Oh, we got this win in court, y'all. It's like, man, you don't benefit from that at all. What does that benefit you? What does that do for you? Yeah, he had an opportunity to move and he didn't. He had 3 minutes after he made initial contact with Austin Metcalf. And if a dude who's bigger than you, who you don't want to fight, and you felt like your life was threatened. The back of the tent was open, the side of the tent that he was on was open, the side that he came from was open, the bottom of the tent was open. Get your ass up and take the fuck off. Move, nigga. What's so hard about that? Get your ass up. Okay, you don't have he had the right to sit there. I feel you. But when shit gets hostile and there's more people that you don't know than you do know in a situation, and you don't think that you can get out of it without taking a bodily injury, you probably need to get the fuck up and go somewhere. Take your ass home. And I don't know if he was on suspension. That's some speculation. Like somebody once, I seen somewhere somebody was like, oh, he had a knife. He had the knife. He had got in trouble for the knife or something like that prior to this. And he wasn't supposed to be carrying the knife on school premises, but I think that was his school or something like that. I seen some shit like that. Like, I'm all in favor for my people. I'm black. I'm all in favor for my people getting the justice that they deserve. I'm more privy to manslaughter because I don't think that he intended to. But when you say this, where he fucked up, this is where he fucked up, y'all. He fucked up when he said, touch me again and see what happens. What that tells me is, I wish you would. I know what type of mindset I gotta be in when I say that to somebody. Touch me again means I wish you would, bitch. I wish you would. I'm ready. You about to find out today. Yeah, they've been pushing each other at school since day one. And nobody gets stabbed. It's as simple as that. I don't know what's so complicated. You know, that's because everybody has this weird fetish about race and
I just want to the white people the black people are so evil, we gotta fucking stuff them. The whites are,
and it's like, come on, bro. Like, come on. Like, really
they just I just want to choke them.
And it's like, man, come on, bro. Like, that's too much, bro. That's too much, my boy. Y'all tripping. 21 witnesses, weapon video, and confession is a wrap. That's basically, and it basically is. Now, the thing that I think is, there was one thing about that I thought was pretty strange. I'm trying to think. All I can say is this. The thing about Karmelo Anthony and the one, like, why was Karmelo Anthony there? Because he was down in, like, the tunnel somewhere. And when he went up to meet somebody. And then they were like, oh, we don't know him. And it's like, that whole thing is weird. And that sounds like a setup to me. And they all know each other. But obviously they weren't setting him up to kill him. But it's just like, the whole thing feels weird. So, I don't know. There's that element of the situation that I feel needs to be addressed. Or somebody needs to there needs to be some sort of investigation on that. But otherwise, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like, the other kid is dead. Like, Austin Metcalf is gone. That's a very real reality. Like, these guys were two kids, and one of them lost their lives. There's no jokes about that. There cannot be any jokes online about when a child loses his life. I don't care if he was an asshole. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. What does that have to do with anything? I don't care. And even in other instances where it's like, if it was an Asian person to a white person to a black person, a white person to an Indian person, a Native American person, or whatever the case may be, and all those other instances, I'm not all the way with this notion that if it's self-defense, you should just get off. You should just have carte blanche to go ahead and X somebody out, especially when you're a kid. That doesn't fly with me. I think that's bullshit. I don't believe none of, like, unless it's like there is it's a very clear instance of like your life is in danger. I don't that shit is, it sounds like bullshit. It's bullshit to me. Because in a lot of cases, especially, we have to remember this, the cases that we know of that this is that are predicated on that specific law, all those people, there were no true threats to their lives. There's a lot of situations where there isn't a real serious bodily threat of bodily harm from the other person. Not really. The other person rushed him. He rushed me, bruh. To me, he was about to. He was gonna what? He walked. We see the video. Dude was walking towards you. Nigga strutting. He was strutting. He was doing a walk. The niggas. People be like, bro, he was. Oh man, he was hawking me down, bro. There's a guy strutting towards him like he's at a fucking fashion show. Like, you get the fuck out of here, man. Not one punch was thrown. Nothing happened. Get on him. It wouldn't be right. Don't get me wrong. It wouldn't be right if he stabbed him and because he spit on him. But I would understand if somebody spit on you, you're going to be seeing, did you just fucking spit on me? I'll kill you. And then like something like that. Like, I've been in situations like that where it's more people against me than it is for me. Like, it's like 5 people and they're like, yeah, bro, what you doing here? And you know what I say? I say, fuck you. I give everybody the bird. I stand up and I walk away. And then we go handle that later. I'm going to go handle that later. Where I got some of my real people with me. I'm going to get some of my folks. And if it's a real problem, we going to handle that. We going to handle that business. You going to catch those hands. Simple as that. Chris Rock was authorized to be where he was. Chris Rock was not telling anyone. Chris Rock was not concealing a knife on school property. Yeah. And the thing about now, I understand how everybody feels about the knife, right? Because it ended up causing the death of this young man. What people need to understand is that it's actually very common that kids carry not just knives, but like like the little I'm forgetting what they are. Actually, where's my phone? Utility knives. And that's pretty common. And in those, I've known a lot of kids, white, black, Hispanic, Indian, who carried those during my time in school. And then I had some. I didn't carry it every day, but sometimes I would carry it. I mean, for various reasons, like blah, 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 whatever the case may be. But, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that the situation didn't warrant him to draw the weapon. Like, I'm trying to figure out, I wish he had taken the stand it would have been so much better for him if he had just taken that plea. I'm sitting there looking at the picture of this kid, and it's just like, I'm looking at the picture of these 2 kids, and it's just like, the only thing that I can think in my mind is gone. They're both gone. That's it. It's a wrap. Just gone. They're just gone. Yeah, and they didn't have it. And Austin didn't have the authority to tell him to leave. He didn't. Why he felt like but I feel like the reason I think that I think that they had a problem, or they were trying to get at him, and he wanted to approach him because of something else, something that's beside this whole track meet bullshit thing, right? I feel like that was the reason that he was, because somebody got Karmelo Anthony there. His dad dropped him off and somebody got him there. Like, there was a reason that he was there, and he didn't say my problem is that he didn't take the fucking stand to like defend himself. And it's like I don't know what part of his defense attorney's strategy. Well, I guess the dude was like a public defender, whatever the fuck. But he got paid though. He got paid a lot. They didn't just take a public defender. That's enough. 5 hours of work? Oh, he's sucking dick then. What is he doing? Like, what you mean? $75,000? Or when did they pick him up? You got your phone? Damn. Wish you had your phone. You could look that up. Somebody look that up for me. When did he acquire? When did they hire his defense? I'm skeptical about that. Did they though? Yeah, his parents have been acting. See, now here's the thing though. Like the thing with the parents, I can't. Well, again, you can't tell people's intentions. You can't tell people's motivations about a specific like situation like this. I'm finna go ahead and play the rest of this video. I appreciate everybody who stopped by to fellowship with me. We're gonna go ahead and continue this video towards the end. Willie D with his big bald ass. Hey, shout out to Willie D. I fuck with him. Karmelo was supposed to run that day. The bullies were suspended and not supposed to be at the event. Yeah, you're supposed to run. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So it sounds like something else was going on with that, and yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they need to investigate that portion of it though. Because they're trying to obfuscate their involvement in the situation. Because there's something else to that. Shit, he fucked himself up. Like, has anybody ever been in that situation? Has anybody ever been in a situation where it's like, maybe you didn't get invited to someplace, but you found yourself in some place where you weren't welcome, right? And you know, somebody's telling you to leave. What did you do? What's the first thing that you do? What was your first response? You said he knew he was guilty? I mean, we don't know. You can never tell. That's all speculation. Fuck the speculation shit. Fuck all the speculation. Let's just deal with the evidence. What we know is that his defense must have said, don't say anything. That's what I think. Maybe his parents told him not to say anything. And his attorney would take care of everything. But again, speculation. I don't like to do the speculatory bullshit because that we could just get into the weeds all day about and you know, it's fun. It's fun to do it, but it's just like we could be in the weeds all day and we'll get into some place that is highly irrelevant to the topic at hand. I'm gonna go ahead and play.
Started fights and got whooped. Oftentimes they were able to take it. It's different today, but back in the gap, if somebody started a fight and they got whooped,
yeah, there's no reason to stay where you're unwelcome.
They were able to take that licking and keep on ticking, so to speak, right? Where's the guy that you mess with?
He said
that ain't messing with nobody.
He said, you fucked up for that. That caught me off guard. You fucked up for that, bro. Hey, Jay Daniels said he was like, Austin tried to enforce some Jim Crow laws. Shut the fuck up. Shut your ass up.
That guy has nothing but time to think in his head about just protecting himself. He ain't messing with nobody, so all his energy is used in the event of an attack on himself. You know, so I can get why people believe that Karmelo did absolutely nothing wrong, but you can't say that you believe that Austin Metcalf was innocent, was totally innocent, and expect people to believe that.
Verdict day has been filled with traces of racism.
I've watched, I've looked for, and the only thing that I see about race is the people who've been watching the trial.
Even accusations Anthony's jury may not have been just.
Not one black soul on a jury. An all white jury convicted him in 2 to 3 hours. We know that they did not prove their case.
The same part.
See, that's where they overplayed their hand. See, they're used to doing down there in Collin County, Texas, They're used to doing things their way, getting away with whatever they want to get away with, treating the blacks like the blacks don't matter, doing whatever. That judge, Roach, he's a roach. He has put away countless of young black lives for little or nothing. He knows exactly what he's doing. Yeah, he has had a career of locking black people up and being unfair, treating black people unfair within that system. And so has the DA, disproportionately prosecuting black people. They thought this was going to be another sweep it under the rug. They thought that was going to go down. Well, they overplayed their hands. And now the world is looking upon Collin County. And I'm going to tell you something, fam. They're not going to get away with this.
Came the scene for tense moment between those taking definite sides. In this case, both were black men. One left in handcuffs. He allegedly supported Metcalf. Get back! The tension, the decision.
I've watched.
No, that they did not.
I'm not jubilant. You know, it was justice.
Carrying the convictions of emotions that may never die.
Let's go back to this piece right here.
We know that they did not prove their case.
The same parking lot became the scene for tense moment between those taking definite sides. In this case, both were black men. One left in handcuffs. He allegedly supported Metcalf. Get back! The tension.
Did you notice how aggressive the police was? Trying to protect the black guy who is for Austin Metcalf. See, anytime you show up at these protests, it is important to understand that the police is going to be on the side of the system. The police is always on the side of white supremacy and the system, the establishment. If you're out there for righteousness and fairness, man, they're going to be against you. They will be present not to protect you, but to protect that which you're most likely protesting against. Know you, I understand you, I studied you.
The decision, the way they'll go home.
I'm not jubilant.
Now watch how CBS choose to end. Watch what note they choose to end on.
You know, it was justice.
Carrying the convictions of emotions that may never die.
With that bullshit, bro. Hold on. Who the fuck is that? AJ, get that bullshit out of my fucking chat, bro. Take that shit out of my chat, bitch. We not here with none of that. Everybody with that, calm all that down. Austin, no, we gonna take that out of there. Hold on. That just pissed me off. Where's my live at? Where was that at? Take that out of here, buddy. He came in there with some Austin dead calf shit. Get that shit out of here, bro. We not with that. That's goofy. Get that bullshit out of here, bro. Austin dead calf. We gone with that, brother. Take that shit. Take that out of here, man. Take that out of here. What is that? Look, man. We not with that. We not with that. That's crazy. Bye, Bubba. Chill with the remarks on the kid, man. Chill with the remarks. You don't know those people. You don't know those people. You don't know them. Keep it clean in the chat. We don't know these people. We sitting there talking and speculating on it.
Those trial watchers.
You heard what they ended on, right, fam? She said it was justice.
There's a lot of bullshit in the chat, y'all. Keep it calm.
Watch media.
Y'all ain't got this is the problem. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what everybody's investment is in it. So what is it going to, what I'm trying to figure out is you're here talking shit in the chat about some kids you don't know in a case you didn't did any of you put any money towards his GoFundMe or any of the families? Or I'm trying to see why people are so emotionally invested in this. I'm not that emotionally invested in this shit. Absolutely not at all. Wanted to be the jury. They said we can't convict. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. They also denied some potential jurors, which is the case as well. But I'm not even gonna say that. Yeah, y'all gonna need to come up off of that. Whatever you guys personally feel about this race or that race, y'all gonna have to go ahead and pack that shit up, man. Black Knives Matter. Yeah, y'all gonna have to take that shit. Like I'm not with all that. I don't know what the fuck all that is. Keep that out of my chat. Thank you. A simple case of murder into a racial conflict. Absolutely. That's true. Yeah, I don't know why yeah, everybody's putting backing this like there seems to there's no question in my mind. Like kid ended up stabbing another kid. It's a done deal. Like let his people handle that shit. Let them like stop. Come on, man. Cut the shit, brother. Certain amount of people from the jury. Absolutely. Yeah. His parents did kind of do him dirty though. I feel but that's just on the outside. We don't really know what's going on with that. But it kind of looked like that. Yeah, the trial was very suspicious. I will say that. There were some parts of the trial that were suspicious, but it how should I put it? Yeah, I don't know what everybody was expecting when the jury has control over what the verdict is going to be. Like there's a lot of emotions, welling up inside the minds of, and this was a fairly public as far, yeah, it got a lot of coverage initially. So I would surmise that a lot of those people that were on the jury knew about the trial prior to that. That's what I'm guessing. Yeah. Because I don't think that anybody from that area wouldn't have seen that was everywhere. So I'm sure the people who were on that jury panel knew. His parents didn't help him, and an innocent person would take the stand and say what happened. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, like we don't know if he was advised by his if he wanted. See, the difference is this: he could have wanted to do that, but we're all speculating. We don't know if that was the case. We don't know if he wanted to and he insisted. We don't know any of that. See, we're taking, people are guessing because they saw him run. You know what I'm saying? After they saw him flee the scene, quote unquote, towards like the teachers or whatever the case may be. Yeah, no coverage inside the court. Yeah. Are they living large though? Are they really though? Are they really? Oh no, I do find it suspicious though that I think it's super bad optics that they went and spent that money the way they did. That was super bad. Like that was really bad. That looked really bad. All are God's children. We all bleed the same color red. That is true. Shout out to Kevin Little. Yeah, shout out to Kevin Little. Yeah, institutional right yet? Large enough for a new house? Yeah, the media. Yeah, it was racially polarized by the media as well, for sure. People did take, some people have like a chip on their shoulder racially, like, and they use situations like this as carte blanche to launch attacks on against white people, against black people. Like, it's not worth it. We got bigger fish to fry. Trust me. Oh no, the media is dividing everybody for sure, for sure. It's disgusting, absolutely disgusting. They don't spend the money. Yeah. You know how a white supremacist fired Carmelo's father from his job? Is that true? Falling into the media? Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of propaganda. Yeah, they want us to be divided so they can push this new agenda. They're already trying to get this surveillance state in place, boys. We have to be vigilant. We can't get caught up on things like this. Need a job? He had a GoFundMe low? Does anybody? Yeah, what? I don't know. Yeah. Actually, I'd have to look that up. We're going to go ahead and
two
finish
opposing
this off.
sides. They're always going to end the broadcast. They're going to end the segment with the position that they hold. So that lets you know what the people at CBS is thinking. She said it was justice. Justice was served. And that's what CBS News believes. Now, let's go.
I think just to be as unfortunate as it was, something that probably should have never happened. I mean, I think we can say there was probably mistakes made both ways.
One of the very few Austin Metcalf supporters who said there was mistakes made both ways. No more talk.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I mean, guys, like we just have to come to an agreement, man. Look, mistakes were made. Big mistakes were made. Let's see. I don't know what else I have for you guys. I might have something else. Give me a second. You guys converse in the chat shortly. I'll be right back.
A group of civil rights and criminal defense attorneys are joining Carmelo Anthony's legal team pro bono following his murder conviction and 35-year prison sentence for stabbing and killing Austin Metcalf. His new legal team writing, quote, "Our appellate team has been retained following the conviction to conduct a fresh independent review of the trial record. Our responsibility is to determine whether a legal error occurred and to ensure that every issue supported by the record is fully and vigorously presented on appeal.
That's got to be
the
pretty
appellate
major.
process exists
I wonder how
for
much that's
precisely
going
this
to
purpose."
cost.
Project 21 author and co-chair Horace Cooper joins me now. Horace, he's bringing in heavy hitters from the NAACP along with a prominent appellate specialist. Will it work?
Well, it depends on what the goal is. If the goal is actually to get this sentence overturned, I think it's highly, highly unlikely. However, if the real purpose is to create racial friction and engage in a publicity campaign that creates the impression that here in Texas, people aren't able to get along well and that we have major racial conflicts, that could be effective. You've got the Benjamin Crump team working here. You've got the Texas, the president, Gary Bledsoe of the NAACP. You've got people here who are capable of using a platform to create a narrative. And that's why it's so important
it's just
that
better
the
to
judge
not have
recently released some of the video from the trial so that people could see for themselves just how shallow the claims are that this trial was a miscarriage of justice.
Let's break down your claims in turn. Let's start with the law. They can't re-argue the facts on appeal. You just can't do that. That's not how the appellate process works. And this judge, to your point, really ran a tight ship throughout this case, so there's not a lot of error potentially to attack there. So besides arguing that there were no black jurors, what else is there? Do you see a potential Hail Mary from his team?
Now, this Batson challenge is really all that they have, but it gives them the ability to make regular pronouncements, talk in the public, and they may find some particular extraneous incident that they can use out of context. But you said it right. If we were sitting in my classroom, you'd get the gold star. The trial is already happened, and the appeals courts are only going to review the law. They're not triers of fact. You can't introduce new evidence, and the way this trial ended up being carried out, the judge was very careful to make sure that he didn't leave up aside.
Quickly, the father of the victim, telling Will Kane that the family of Karmelo Anthony wasn't there for the victim impact statements. Quote, they left that poor child up there by himself as soon as that verdict was read. What does that say to you about the ulterior motive with this appeal and with the case overall to use this tragedy, to your point, to gin up racial tensions? About 20 seconds, Seahorse.
A young man is going to be sent away for 35 years. It would be great if his family came together, acknowledged what happened, apologized to the Metcalf family, and apologized to the nation. Instead, it looks like a bunch of racial hustlers are trying to divide us. I hope it doesn't succeed.
It is a sad case. There are no winners here. You hope that the racial card is not being played to create some quote-unquote winners in this context. It's not right. Horace Cooper, thanks for your time and your insight. We appreciate it. Let's go now to Brian Kilmeade.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.
These are the same white supremacists who say black people have no accountability. Fuck out of here. That is true. That's true. A lot. I do hear that a lot. I do hear that a lot. It wasn't an illegal gun. You can bring a gun across state lines. It's called the Second Amendment. And they were burning buildings and businesses down. Austin. Well, gentlemen, I appreciate fellowshipping with everybody. I will catch you guys next time. Shout out to everybody who subscribed to the channel. I appreciate the likes on the stream. And with that being said, I'll probably catch you guys. I'll be covering this a couple of more times as like their appeal and news on their appeal goes forward. So if you guys are subscribed, make sure to go ahead and turn on post notifications so you guys can see the updates to the case and similar instances like this. Appreciate it. Appreciate the sub. Austin beat up cheerleader. We're not here to talk about his or Karmelo Anthony's characters in this particular situation. Look, man, people do all types of shit, man. God knows I've done some shit. I'm not trying to get in the weeds with that shit. Don't get bogged down by that either. Look, man, it's an ugly situation all around. One kid lost his life. The other kid is going to spend most of certainly his young life in jail, in prison. Yeah, it's ugly, man. Because, I mean, this was a situation that happened between two children. And I don't care what another group of people do to racially polarize a situation that was obviously happened in a vacuum amongst two high school students. No, muck in the mud with other people over their opinions about some bullshit that happened between two people that they didn't know. No, absolutely not. Until next time, gentlemen. Peace.